Hey guys. So today, uh, I don't know. I had an um, interesting thing happened yesterday. There's this girl who I had so much fun with before I left my uni last week, and and she messaged me first on Facebook, and she said, "I feel so lonely all of a sudden." Low. I'm like, it's okay. You can just tell me you miss me and all that. And she's like, no, actually, I was hanging out with my ex today, and I think that's why I feel so lonely. And then she told me, she was asking her ex to come over to her place, and I was like, okay. And it was about 11:30 p.m. Yeah, p.m. And I was like, that's. I was thinking that's a bit late, but honestly, I don't really. I was kind of cared. I kind of cared. Like, damn it, another guy. She's falling for her ex again. I was like, fuck. But then I kind of let that go, and don't really care right now. I mean, she could be hanging out with her ex whenever. I just don't really care anymore because I have dealt with this kind of situation before where the girl is not really where the girl is still in love with her ex. I mean, in her case, it's been 5 months since they broke up, and I was kind of surprised that wow, 5 months and okay. Um, that just shows you that scarcity. Girls have that kind of scarcity as well. Anyway, I just kind of so I called her on the phone. She didn't pick up in the first one. I went to voicemail quite early, so I kind of guessed that she didn't want to pick up. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And a few minutes later, she called me back, and she sounded like she was crying. I was like, oh, that's so sad. And knowing games and knowing all the mistakes I've done in the past, I know that change their emotion don't change their logic mind. And when a girl is sad or when anyone is sad, they don't really want you to tell them to be positive. Go see more guys or to be happy because they don't want you to give them advice. So sensing that, I just kind of ask about her day, blah blah blah. Didn't really talk a lot about her ex. I didn't really ask her if she wanted to get back with him. I mean, it's irrelevant. And after talking for a while, and that's when she told me she was asking her ex to come over, but he is busy. I was like, huh, that's good, I guess. And she realized that it really was a bad idea to ask her ex to come over. And I think this girl is still very young. She's about 21. It's around that age where you start to realize that you have to love yourself first. You can't really, crave other people's love when you're feeling lonely. And in her case, she just couldn't deal with the loneliness and she wanted her ex to come over. I mean, I definitely was guilty of this in the past because I remember I had a good relationship with a girl who I used to with a fuck buddy of mine in the past. And every time I feel like I'm very lonely, I really want someone to talk to and have sex with. I just text her, and of course that worked first couple of times. But then the thing is, once you call them over, once you had sex and you kind of talked, you realize that ah, so I remember now why we stopped seeing each other, and I remember the reason I didn't want to keep seeing my fuck buddies because I really wanted to grow. I really wanted to use that time I have with her to be used on something else, like to focus on girls that I truly. I'm not saying I don't enjoy her company. I'm saying I want to use it on girls that would really make my heart tickle. I don't know the word. Just girls who are making me really feel like someone who I want to spend long term with, not just a casual sex relationship. So that's what I realized after the first couple of times. And she could tell that. She could. I remember the last time we met. She she gave me a hug. I kind of hug her back. It's kind of like whatever. And I think at that moment I sensed that I'll probably never see her again. And I was right. I was very right. Always trust your instinct. Because a couple weeks later, she got a boyfriend, just someone in her class, and yeah, we just kind of stay friends after that. I mean, I did see her a few times when we bump into each other on the streets, and that's about it. I don't think I want to fuck her again. Definitely not. I think we had that chemistry before, and now it's gone. So it's like, meh, it's okay. It's all good. So, so with this girl, after I found out that she's not very emotionally stable, I guess. I'm having second thoughts about getting into a serious relationship with her. And the reason being is that, I have been through, I've done it with girls. I just have done it before. I just don't want to go through it again. Typically, with girls who's not over their ex, two things. It could go both. It could go either way. I mean, she could go back to her, and you just pretty much like a rebound, and you feel like. I mean, depends on how you look at it. If you really like her, then I guess it's not a bad thing. It's a pretty bad thing to be dumped, and a girl went back to her ex. On the other hand, it might help her just get over her ex, but it won't help the roots of her problem. It won't really help her grow as a person because she's just jumping from a relationship to another without really giving herself time to grow. I mean, I can't really, well, I think there's two ways to grow after a breakup. Either you embrace whatever happened and you realize that whatever problem you had with your ex, you know that you have to take some responsibilities for it. You know that you have to solve whatever emotional trauma you have, whatever baggage you have before you move on to the next relationship. And the second way to grow, I think, is actually that's the only way to grow. That you have to solve your emotional baggage before you go on to the next relationship. And it's not that I don't think it's not that easy, but at the same time it's not that hard. The thing that really helped me was reading books, being present to the moment, and also meditate every day, so you can kind of build an awareness of the emotion inside your body without judging it, without trying to hide it, and you just kind of embrace it. You embrace it for what it is. Now, to get over a breakup, you have to be really present to the moment. You have to really focus on what you feel after you break up with a person. And when you do that, you will feel all sorts of things inside your body. You will feel like very tight. You feel judged for sure. You feel like you're not enough. Like she's leaving you, she or he is leaving you because you're shit and all that. But you have to realize that that's not true. Well, you can improve, but don't be so harsh on yourself. Those just don't beat yourself up when someone decides to leave. I mean, you are the shit. That's what you have to constantly remind yourself. You are you are the shit. And when you realize that sometimes people aren't just meant to be together, and people can miss and the thing and people sometimes can mistake sexual chemistry for a good reason to get back with their ex. I mean, it's not all about sex. I mean, sex is important, but at the end of the day, you can have sex with anyone else if you want. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's about what happens after sex. If you feel bad with your partner after sex, then she's not the right person for you. And I think for men, it's I hate to admit this, but most guys, I mean, for me at least, most girls I slept with, I don't really give a damn after we have sex. And there's only a couple girls that I really like them, and I would spend hours. Um, I would persist a lot because I know that they're worth it. And that's the kind of difference. You will only know the difference once you go out a lot, and get lots of experience. Because before that, you don't really know what's what. You just kind of take it as it comes, and then later you realize, okay, so with that girl, we had good sexual chemistry, but I don't really want to see her in the long term. But with this girl, I want to see her in the long term, but I kind of become needy before we had sex, and that's where I lost her because I didn't love myself enough. So experience really is the key to relationship. It's like and sometimes people ask me, how do you get over your ex so fast? And to tell you the truth, meeting lots of girls definitely helps, but it helps in the moment. But when you come home, when you're sitting down, when you're all alone, you're gonna face those like bad emotions. I wouldn't say bad emotions. You would face a lot of emotions when you come home alone at the end of the day, when the lights are out and you're kind of lying down and you have to deal with the loneliness. So I think the hardest thing about breakup is dealing with loneliness and dealing with all your fear and all your beliefs that you're holding on to, all the self-image you have, all that. After a breakup, they're pretty much destroyed, really, because you think you're this guy, but when that girl leaves you, when that girl stop giving you validation, and you start to become, oh my god, she left me, so fuck, what does that mean? What does that mean for me as a person? And the answer is, doesn't mean shit. Like, fuck, nothing in life really means anything at all. If you think about it, at least like life could be just a random events that kind of happen one after another, or you could take the more faith routes and kind of think of life like a lesson after another. I mean, they both kind of mindsets works fine. They will both work for you. A quote I really like is life is happening for you, not to you. And that kind of gives you power to take control of what's happening in your life. Whenever you think that life sucks, when you start blaming other people for your situation, you have to realize that this is happening for you. It's happening for a reason. You are here for a reason. You are here to create something amazing. You're here to share. You are here to change the world. Whatever. You're here to make an impact on the world. And don't let that overwhelm you as well. I mean, embrace that. When you think of it like that, every challenge in life becomes something you enjoy, because you know that it's going to lead you towards somewhere amazing, somewhere exciting, and you just can't wait. So yeah, that's kind of my rants for today. I'll see you guys next time.